Blood, blood, gallons of the stuff. Give them all that they can drink and it will never be enough.
So let's talk about bloodherd. In the midst of all this rumor mongering and discussions on a new starter set, let's just talk about bloodherd, the red-headed stepchild of the Beastmen faction. The bloodherd is hard to win with, but I think I have discovered a method. Mainly, you need to find an event that runs the square base comp, where bloodherd are in the last tier, tier D, so they get 2,600 points, yes, and a kill point modifier of 0.77, which is very important for winning with bloodherd, I feel. How you win with bloodherd has nothing to do with Minotaurs. You need to rid yourself of the idea that the Minotaurs will win you the game. The Doom Bulls might win you the game, but that is for a different reason. First, a problem you run into when playing one of the top armies in the SPC format is that everything is worth something. Especially in Beastmen, it's a problem when your Ungors are actually worth more because you have less points than the opposing faction. So when you kill something with like a Wild Tide or with a Gore Break or something like that, it has to be even more worthwhile. You can't easily eke out small points. This is, of course, I guess, a good thing, some would argue, as it would enable other armies to have more counterplay. However, you can also go the other way with this. With bloodherd, you can go the other way, and then you can abuse the fact that your units do not have they don't give away as many points. They give you away even less points, and then you deny the rest of the points, which is my plan. Let me show you my army. Here we go. This is my army. It has 2 Brave Shamans, level 1, Stone of Spite, Staff of Quietude, 2 Doom Bulls, 1 with Scimitar and 2 up save and Icon of Fortitude, level 1 mage, so on and so forth. There's a Doom Bull, the other one with Bedazzling Helmet and Shield and Slugskin, the anti-challenge one. Then there's a Wargore with the Chalice of the Dark Rain, Heavy Armor Shield, Great Weapon. Then there's the BSB package Wargore with Vitriolic, Pelt of Midnight, Pelt of the Dark Young, all the pelts. Then there's 58 Gores. I would have liked more, but after some experimentation, we ended on this. I have Monster Hunter's Tapestry, of course, and I have Scourge of the Burden, which is good to have, but not necessarily in this army. Not necessary in this army. Then I have Hearthstone, of course, 2 Minotaurs, 1 Musician, 1 with Shield. Then I have 2 Minotaurs, 1 with Shield, Musician, and Ambushers. Then I have 2 times 13 Ungors with half horns, musicians, and ambushers, and short bows. Then I have a Dragon Ogre Shartak with a Great Weapon and the Black and Plate for the 2 up save. Then I have some Harpies. Then I have some Razor Gore. Anyway, this doesn't look very intimidating, I guess. But it actually is. In a points scoring environment, this army is very, very good. It could put almost 2,000 points into one unit. Well, you're gonna say, but monster, they're impetuous. But monster, blah 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 blah, all kinds of stupid things. Anyway, you want to know how good a Razor Gore is when it's worth about 40 points. It's very good. Harpies too. Any kind of small points in this army are worth a lot more, a lot less for whatever effort you have to do. It's not a fighting army per se. It sits on an objective and then takes the other objectives If there's 4 objectives, then you're probably going to sit on one and then have Ungors on the other one and have Ungors around your Hearthstone somewhere. Then you sit there and wait for the enemy. And what you might even do is, this is my secret strat, is you might, if it's a fighting army, you might want to turn around. And you're gonna say, "Oh, Benjamin, but you're gonna you're gonna you're gonna give him the rear and lose your flanks and blah 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 and lose your ranks." Well, that might be true, but that's not so bad because I have like leadership 8, possibly 9 at this point, possibly even more. When he finally arrives to get me, because I will not be moving to fight him in that way. Then he's gonna attack me. Then I'm gonna make way as I want to with my characters, so he can't catch out my characters and snipe out my shamans or whatever deliciousness is in that unit. He can only snipe out. He can get to fight a Doom Ball or 2 Doom Balls. And then I will slowly grind him down. If it's against a cavalry unit, I will even negate his first charge because I won't have any ranks anyway. Then I will turn around at some point and start mauling his unit. That is some of the plan. Also, then you bring a lot of anti-magic defense. That's why there are 3 Dispellers. They're not good at it, but sometimes they will Dispel. And my magic is not important, but it's important that I may turn off your magic. So I got the Stone of Spite in there for a crucial turn where you won't really want to cast your frenzy or your other debuff spells or own buff spells that amazingly empowers your units. And I have the Staff of Quietude for all those the vortexes, the remains in place that are very crucial to remove against, for example, the undead. And that's how you win. You grind people down. Does it work always? No, but I feel it might work a lot. Especially if you play really cagey and you use your reforms to screen your units, and know when to sacrifice Razor Gauls and know when to flee with units. Everything is about making him use one more turn to kill more of your stuff while you cap objectives. Because you also have the Hearthstone, and that is your number one. It's not your number one, but it's a huge part of your win condition. And it can be very hard to deny a Hearthstone from a Beastman player if they're thinking about that you want to deny it. That's what I feel, and my experience as well. Furthermore, I threw in the battle magic because sometimes you could just roll. You can roll well and get like Oaken Shield. Then your unit is almost impossible to kill over the course of 6 turns because he spends 1 turn moving, then another turn possibly moving, most likely another turn moving. And then we have 4 turns left of the game. Then we fight a little, then we fight a little, then you screen a little, and then he just won't kill you. He won't get any points. And with some cheeky reforms and some open order shenanigans, you can do some cheeky stuff. Essentially, you start rolling from turn 1 on the Gates of the Gods with everything except for the wizards, hoping to get like weapon skill on the bedazzling helmet guy would be really, really good, because then he can fight dragons if he's in the unit. Not that the dragon is ever going to try and charge you, but you can maybe force it to, unless he wants you to get all the objectives. The other Doom Ball is just like the leader is just in general very good. Plus you need some magical attacks. It's very important against the undead matchup to be able to make way and murder whatever ethereal unit is in your flank. That is why you turn around. I know the army maybe doesn't always work, but I think it's pretty good. And it's to prove a point. Because I don't really like the square-based comp. I enjoy the drafts, I enjoy the renegades, but I don't like the comp. The kill point modifier is too much, and the points the armies get are sometimes too much and don't help at all. There are just armies that get through because they naturally are almost good enough. Like, for example, bloodherd. And then it's just going to be another layer of stupid restrictions. Not stupid, but unnecessary restrictions that we don't need when we have renegades, we have all kinds of things. We have the Green Knight can't do this. We have this and that. We have nerfs to resurrections. We got nerfs to rerolls. We got all kinds of things. So we don't need more rules in that regard. People should just be able to build their armies. I think, of course, some armies are weaker than others, but I think this is not the way. I think if you want to do a comp, you should do it like a targeted comp. So an army specific comp. So you have max this amount of hex race. You have max this amount of vile tides or whatever. Which we also have here kind of, but we play with both things, so I think it might be a tricky combination. That's why I don't play Wild Herd, actually. And you don't want to eliminate an army. I think you want to feel the army, make the army more balanced. You don't want to kill it. Maybe. Um, more. What's more interesting in this? I of course have the Chalice of the Dark Rain as well to turn off enemy war machines. I have some great war machine hunters, and I don't care if they die. I have this guy, he's immensely useful, and if there are enemy cannons, you can hide him, you can send him forward with the Chalice, you can do all kinds of things. These guys, the Minotaurs, are, you put two in ambush, they come in marching column, and the other Minotaurs are probably also in a marching column, standing and touching the herdstone behind it. Just hiding. And when something comes, they might turn, or they might just run away, depending on what it is. Because they can actually, I've had some experience with them now, they can actually kill smaller stuff fairly easily. They blend things really good, but they can't like fight big stuff at all. They're toughness 4. So let's talk about 2 Brave Shamans. Well, the Brave Shamans are actually not in the unit that often. They just roll on the demonology, see what they get, then usually unless one of them gets fly, which is useful enough, it's not that useful in this army, you just swap for Vile Tide or Summoning, because Summoning is really good in some matchups. Because the extended range and the more reliable damage against like elves and stuff like that. Then there is what they want to do is usually just walk around with 13 Ungors hanging out somewhere around the brick, so they can and the stone, so they can easily pop into the brick to hide if they want to. And then they're just gonna throw some vile tides or summoning at people at +2 from the stone, which is fine. It's more just a deterrent. Sometimes you roll like sometimes you get 2 vile tides and a fireball on Doombull. The Wargore you can go with different banners. I went with Vitriolic, but you could also go with like Swirling Wind, so you have a -2 to get shot at. But I was worried of in an RT or even a bigger one skewing too heavily into anti-shooting, because there's only really dwarves, as Khemri shooting don't care. So yeah, there's that. And poison is just kind of always useful. I also thought about the banner of I think the reroll primal fury. Seems pretty good, and it's not that expensive. I also really want to try and build something with the banner of rust, but that is for a different time. Anyway, for our first tournament, it's important to understand that the small points in this army are still what can keep it down, but we've ensured ways to keep the small points out of the enemy's hands. You have 2 units of harpies, they fly. You have 2 units of pigs, 3 units of pigs. They're very mobile and don't cost a lot of points. Then we have some Ungors sometimes, and the Ungors are also very very slippery because they're skirmish and they have ambush. Then they have one of the Minotaur units in ambush, and another Minotaur unit, which is very. This is the weakest point on the list, I guess. It's that Minotaur unit. But what are you gonna do? It's bloodherd. And then you have the Shatak, which is not that vulnerable, but can be very strong in some matchups. And sometimes you can just park him behind something if you want to. He's very good at fighting. He can kill a lot of monsters, not monsters, but bigger things. And he can even kill small heroes sometimes or units. And he is very resistant to shooting, except specific kinds of shooting, like cannons are kind of a problem, but they usually won't one-shot him, so he will have to spend 2 shots on killing him. Then you have to gain something from that, which can be done. You also have the Chalice of the Dark Rain, so that's another turn of shooting. And then we're on turn 3 if he started it hidden. Then you might not even kill him. He's very resistant to magic missiles. He's just in general an okay unit. He has a 3 ward save against fire with the blackened plate, and you have to conserve these points or bait the enemy into overcommitting to killing them, because he's not really. Except if he's an all-out fighty army, he's probably never gonna try to engage with your minor brick, with your gore brick, with minor lords in. So you have to bait him sort of by placing the Ungor so that they flee through, and he has to maybe fail a test to not go through there or something. I did that in the last game I played them. It's not insurmountable. It's something you can actually pull off quite not easily, but it's quite doable if you consider your gore brick a giant moldable piece of terrain that kills people if people touch it. And of course, sometimes you just don't roll well on the guys. What are they called? The Ungors, and they come in early, or anything comes in early. Anything that is an ambush that comes in will then just be in a marching column, and then try to run around the table to delay their death or just survive with just enough so that they don't die or they don't give away points. That's why everything has a musician. It's very important, I feel, for the marching and for the rallying. Also because they're not always going to be in range of the BSB. Well, very rarely are they ever going to be in range of the BSB. And the mages are also pretty good at being sacrificed if you gain something, provided they've used some of their stuff. They are very expendable with the kill point modifier, and so is the Wargore, the Chalice one. Not so much the BSB one. He's very. You don't want him to die. Yeah. on with the video. Let's just go through the missions that we're gonna go for. Like, we're going for fields of this thing. Upon the fields of glory, there are baggage trains, 2 locations, and special features. And I'm fighting against the vampire player. The vampire player has he has Black Knights. He's a very good player. He's very good. But I think he's taking more of a relaxed list probably, or something that he has painted really well, because he does that too. He's a little more diverse than me. Anyway, my plan in this mission is we're gonna have an objective here. Let's see if I can draw. That would be really cool. I can. Here we are in good old paint. Uh, there's gonna be an objective. Can I draw? How the hell do I draw? It's been a while since I used paint. There's an objective here. There's an objective here. And then there's something here. And then there's some trains and a hearthstone. So what is going to happen is I am going to put my hearthstone here. Right around here. Something like that. And then he is going to put his train possibly here. No, I have ambushers, so he's not going to put it there. He will probably put it here, behind like a building or something. Then I'm going to put mine possibly here. Because he will want to, if I put my my baggage train in the sides and guard it with like Minotaurs and a shot tag or something, that's just a lot of points he can get. He can just march his Black Knights over there and just murder them. Then he will get the train as well. So I should fight him here in the streets. Then I'll put my brick right here, like right here, because this mission is like the easiest one. Then I'm gonna walk up like this. This is like 5, something like that. And that's it. I may actually turn the hearthstone like this. Oh, that's wrong. I did that wrong. May turn the hearthstone like this to create a wall, instead of placing it the other way. Then there's some terrain and stuff, but this is usually what I will do. And the special feature is scored at the end of the game, so I can just reform in and get it if I want to. It's pretty much it. Actually, it's a very simple way of winning, I think. Because I have the hearthstone, and I think he will attempt to bring the little bats in, and then I will set to deny the hearthstone, but I will just put the mages, so I will put the hearthstone slightly behind, so I can put a small screen in front of it that then moves away, so we can't do it as easily, something like that. Then the pigs. Well, the pigs are just going to be placed maybe on the same flank, like to deny the spirit host, because they don't want to fight the spirit hosts. They want to fight a unit of zombies if you really want to fight, but they will usually just run away, because my opponent has only like 2 screams, and then he probably has 1 or 2 unquiet whispers, so he's got a lot of work to do. And I have the stone spite, and I have MR2 on my big brick, and I have MR1 on the unit defending this, and Dragon Ogre Boy he also has, he doesn't have MR, but he has a ward save and a 2+ armor save against a lot of stuff, but not against screams and stuff. Then if I can kill the terror guys, that would be great, but I probably can't. We'll see. The second one actually is this one, which is, I think it's drawn battle lines, or something like that. It's the one at an angle. We have 3 strategic locations and a baggage train. And in this mission, there are no reserves, which only means in this mission that the special rule for the mission doesn't come into play. Because nobody likes that special rule. The one where you roll like a 1 dice each. On a 1, you both have to put something in reserve. It's very annoying. I don't like this deployment. I think it's cool once you set it up, but I hate setting it up. I really wish there were some lines on the tables or something, because it takes forever. Anyway, this mission is fairly simple for a beastman. You can do a lot of stuff with this. You take, you have a location here. Oh, this is all wrong. I already forgot how to do it. But we have one here, and we have one here, I think, and one here. Something like that. This isn't even remotely level. But the point still stands that you can put some. I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna do this. Nope, that was wrong. Oh, I fucked it up. It doesn't matter. What you can do is you can put some Ungors here, and they're just gonna be within 6. Then you put the giant brick here, put it at an angle. Put it at an angle. Then you can threaten most of the board. You can do reforms out here and here. You just take up a lot of space, especially with that open order pivot. You can sometimes even trap people. And he's probably going to put his baggage train here or here. Sometimes they put it here. And then you have a lot of options of coming in with your ambushers. And I got a lot of stuff down here in my back to defend against ambushers, so at least deny them coming in. I also have my Hearthstone, which I can also hold. Sometimes I use the Hearthstone here to, if there isn't anything to screen the Ungors, I just put the Hearthstone so they have a screen. And you're still going to be within 12 most of the time. It's not that important in this army, but it could be nice. They're great buffs. Yeah, that's the second one. Here comes the third. The third one is encirclement, and this is just a rodeo or a clown show, I guess. I don't know anything about rodeos. There's a there's a location here. I did it again. Sorry. There's a location here. There's oh, oh, that's fine. Then I'll do this. Oh, it's learning. It's learning something like this, something like this, and something like this. So there's 4 strategic locations and 1 special feature and 1 Hearthstone in my case. So that's a lot of points up for grabs. It's also in this silly deployment that I don't really like. I guess it prevents somewhat the enemy from flanking me, which can be good. As a Beastman army, you are fast, but you're not really fast. So when you're fighting against something that is actually fast, then you feel really, really, really slow. My point is here to probably take the middle, take this, take the middle and take this, and then we fight over. I'll just get my brushes out. I'll get this. I'll get this probably. And then I'll probably put my. I don't really know where I'm going to put it. I'll figure it out. Then there's a special feature, which I will try to take, or at least contest in the later parts of the game, but I will try to hold my Hearthstone at all times. It will probably be around here, something like that. Depends on what kind of flyers he has, if he can threaten it easily. It's kind of an army thing. This one I will harass with with possibly Ungors, depending on what kind of army he is. If he has 4 units of Night Goblins, then I can't really harass anything. I have to go balls to the wall and fight him to the death. We'll take the draw. It's gonna be pretty interesting. The armies represented are very very varied. There are a lot of this time there are a lot of ogres and chaos dwarves and there are all kinds of things because it's we allow drafts and it's summer. People are relaxing, I guess, and there's a new FAQ incoming, so it's not really that important. Um, it's just fun. And the RT Rogue Trader tournaments are always good fun. I would highly, highly recommend them. Their organizer is great, and the people down there are great. It's just great overall. Anyway, anything else I want to surmise before I go into the actual games, which will come up after the tournament is done? Um, no, not really. Yeah, okay, that's pretty funny because there are 7 out of 8 of the VTC team from the Danish team are actually attending the tournament, and one of the helping coaches and 2 former players from the team. So it's kind of a Shark Tank, but we play a lot of funny stuff this time just to unwind, and it's gonna be great. Have a good one.
Give the blood, gallons of the stuff. Give them all that they can drink, and it will never be enough.